The Oregon defense is a major factor and a major reason why they have arrived here to the Sweet 16.
Well, definitely. It's going to be a clinic in offensive execution.
15 minutes of that first half. And then in the final 6, they scored 20. They lead by 8. Oregon opening possession of this second half. And King losing the handle, hounded by Guy. Pritchard splits that double team. Pritchard just hands almost one.
Early February, but he'll take that deuce.
And think about it. In total, he shot 40% on the season.
Right.
So how hot was he prior to that slope?
Good job by Wooten to recognize that.
The Ducks are at their best when Wooten is a force, wouldn't you say?
Yep, and there he is again.
Creating for King. Had all day to look at it.
Seeing that shot, but that's not a great shot for Virginia to take the shot clock that deep and then to get a turnaround jump shot inside. If you're an Oregon fan, you're happy, and you're going to make them shoot more of those and say, hey, just make some tough shots over us.
Oregon in their 16th NCAA tournament, 6th Sweet 16, and how about 3 Sweet 16s in the last 4 years? And as Chris mentioned, a Final Four team just 2. Peyton Pritchard running the show here for Oregon, finds Amin, pass fake and in.
Such a great floor general, understands now that they have a 12-point lead. He's trying to slow it down in pros.
Pritchard.
It's a fantastic job without Bol. You know, Altman has done a nice job. That freshman was just superb. Unbelievable number.
About Virginia's D, and you mentioned it, B.A., that you cannot sleep on the Ducks defense. That time they went into a 3-2 kind of amoeba zone and triple teamed the post and got a steal, and that's what I mean about Pritchard, even though he
did the 64 on Friday.
That was their 17th straight win. The 31st of the season. First win over a ranked team for the Anteaters, by the way, in a dozen years. Across here, just 10 games into his freshman season, had to shut him down.
Got a good look because of Happ being double teamed. Just couldn't knock it down.
Come up on the final minute. This is Paul Richardson, another freshman. White feeds the post. This is Francis Okoro. He's been Mr. Energy for the Ducks.
Pressed around on it, massaged it out. He did not get taped up or receive any additional medical attention, but it's something that's still bothering him.
All right, thanks a lot, Allie. She's got her hands full tonight. There's a ton of injuries stacking right there. On the other hand, Guy, back-to-back first-team All-ACC. Best three-point percentage for a season in ACC history this year. They need him. Shot clock at 9. Amin with a long-range 3. They could review that one. Virginia now with 6 fouls. Next one's going to put Oregon on the line.
It's Pritchard time.
Pritchard for the tie.
That on that possession.
And also a nice cut. Ford like a little bit bigger right now as Oregon's going with 3 guards. And Ford is a mismatch for somebody.
Just past the midway point, second half. Which of these two teams advances to take on the Anteaters in the round of 32?
Ralph Sampson and Jeff Lamb, Ricky Stokes. Great to see Ralph Sampson in the building.
Wonder where all those experts are that criticized him back in the day for having skill. Wonder if they're still around to watch how the game has evolved. He was one of the front runners. Why big guys now can go out and shoot and show that we have skill, because he showed us that he could do it.
Paul White, shot clock at 7.
Their bodies.
It is a dogfight with a trip to Louisville in the Sweet 16 on the line. Richardson, the freshman, shot clock into single digits. J.C. Butler back in the game. Pritchard.
They play super hard, and they respect all the good values of collegiate athletics. John Calipari, the Hall of Famer. Calipari, excuse me.
I think you can say either or. I think you're good either way.
I'm generally wrong at everything.
That's a good point.
At either or.
Shot clock
the shot clock here. This is not the strength.
Here, Dana, 9 years at their respective schools. Incredibly similar in so many different ways. Huge differences, though, in that Arizona doesn't look to cause.
This one in the regulation, and an overtime game to start our night. Purdue beating Tennessee. The Boilers await the winner of this one.
Just missed the oop to Wooten. That was the play out of the timeout. Trying to get him the ball inside to finish him. Put someone in foul trouble.
Lewis King on the jump hook. Rattles it.
17 straight wins, longest winning streak in school history. Haven't lost since January 16th. A defeat that came at the hands of Long Beach State. Seems like an eternity ago for them. Pritchard able to turn the corner inside. A little bit of an errant pass. Smitty, what'd you think?
Well, on that angle, it looked good, but I thought when the play was going, I thought Wooten was still moving a little bit, but I think because King came in so aggressive, the referees thought and saw that it would be an offensive foul.
Oh, man, he got there.
Here comes Pritchard inside.
With that mask on, kind of reminds me of a guy who's a UConn guy also, Richard Hamilton.
Played with the Wizards, played with the mask for a long time.
It became part of his whole makeup. Took the mask off and obviously won the championship.
But a couple of big field goals as you have another one of those performances left tonight.
I mean, the defensive pressure has ramped up for the Anteaters. Richardson and all these guys. Russell Turner, nice job coming out of halftime, punching first against the Ducks.
White, Turner,
and Matt Muehlbach. And here is King with the ball up top to Pritchard. Pritchard, of course, local product from Oregon. Part of that Final Four squad. Now 10 to shoot. Ball White, the Georgetown transfer hit.
Point lead for Oregon. And as much as I love to belittle the guards, I had great guards. Oh, my gosh. Greg Lee, Henry Bibby, Larry Hollyfield, Lionel Hollins, Johnny Davis, Dave Twardzik, Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge, Jerry Seasting, Rick Carlisle. Look at the play.
Originally happened against Oregon a year ago. He missed the rest of the season, then had the surgery in the offseason, and missed the first 2 games of this season.
This is one of the great rivalries in all of college basketball. To see these two mighty schools with school president Mike
In front. Winner to play Washington tomorrow night on ESPN.
Please come and tie my shoes for me. Okay, where's the offense going to come from here? Drive it in, kick it out, let it fly. Victor Bailey, oh! And Williams, who's got the bad leg, surgically repaired in high school, flared up this year with the stress and pounding of a big-time college basketball program. We can only hope he's okay.
Dutrieve in the game. He hit the game-winning shot at Oregon State the other night.
Another freshman. He's from Anchorage, which is different from Los Angeles. Kenny,
great bike ride up in the Colorado Rockies.
So you're going back to a conversation we had 5 days ago, which nobody watching remembers.
How do you know this?
Will Richardson on the back down now, facing up.
Try everything you can. Work a lot harder to get back.
He talked about, he said it felt funny not being in March Madness. He's so happy to be back.
King trying to create some space.
At you, if you're Stanford, the spacing is so important, and you can't be hesitant when you have that spacing and that opportunity. You have to be extremely aggressive and take advantage of the numbers.
Stanford was 7 turnovers. Oregon was 8. Wooten inside. Lost.
Who have by far the best culture in the NBA today. And so much of it is who you play with, who the coach is. And he's got it all right there.
Play Pritchard just dug down and drew the jump ball.
Yeah, that was kind of unexpected for Hap. But remember, Hap, top 5 in the Big Ten in points, rebounds, and assists. Leads his team in assists. So
ends his collegiate career. He has been traveling with the team. He's been with them every day, every step of the way. But so what a massive loss. Really kind of forced them to change things, guys. Everything that they did at this end was run through ball before the injury.
And that's what makes their win of the Pac-12 tournament so improbable.
Pritchard, masterful.
State turnovers. Remy Martin still in the game.
But that's how Oregon scores. They don't have a go-to guy in terms of give him the ball and we're going to get 2 points. Or Louis the King trying to make that happen. Tracy, all the centers of the universe.
He'll be featured in our Walton's World segment where he talks smack to a Hall of Famer. Jumper.
If they make the NCAA tournament, it'll be the first time since 1980-81 that Arizona State goes to the big dance in back-to-back years. They're in the semifinals for the first time in a decade when James Harden was playing for Arizona State and he lost in the title game to USC. Oregon playing in the semifinals for the 5th straight year. Here's Paul White. And he
down to the wire. Las Vegas is going to be spectacular. Can Washington hold on? Washington's lost to Cal, just inexplicable.
And you wonder, do they have to win the Pac-12 tournament now with a loss like that, or are they in no matter what based on the quantity of wins they have this year? Here's Paul White from the corner.
Even though it's covered with snow and ice.
Yeah, he needs a good psychiatrist. That's what he needs from doing this show for the last 7 years.
I second that emotion. He needs a good song. He needs to spend an evening with Noreen up in Minnesota watching a great basketball game.
Pritchard.
6 years. That's a long time.
But certainly both these teams have enough that if they can be healthy going into Las Vegas,
anything could happen.
Yes, they can win.
Anything could happen for a lot of different teams.
I'd say there's probably 8 teams right now that you could make a case for to win the Pac-12 tournament. Shot clock is down to 6 after the fumble.
How about the fact that UCLA would have a first-round bye if the tournament was held starting specimen, and now when you got a great coach here in Dana Altman and the tremendous development staff here.
Speaking of a guy that's growing, so let me ask you this. Yeah. If Zion Williamson cannot return,
right,
do you take that into account when you see Duke? Because they're clearly, as a chorus,
goes to going back home to help the next generation with his Oregon education, and that's good stuff.
Thanks very much, Lewis. And here he is attacking.
You're almost setting it up for the official because you're out of control driving to the basket now. Do you agree or not? You didn't really say anything. Here's King. Spins out.
Nice cut to the rim. Peyton Pritchard able to get baseline. Using
Oregon State Beavers coming here because Kyler Kelly, that guy's got it. Just getting started. What a future. So fluid.
He leads the country in block shots.
And he's got a great touch. I mean, he's not just, he's a big guy, but he's not just a big.
Richardson and Amin in the backcourt. Luke King at the 4 effectively. With Kenny Wooten in the middle. Amin able to keep that pivot foot. Midway point of the shot clock. Pritchard resets. King lines it up.
Just feed this crowd. The Zona Zoo leading the charge. Strike up the band. Run over, dribble it. Victor.
Bailey, no. Foul on DeAndre Hunter. That is foul number 5 for Virginia. Oregon just 2 fouls in this second half.
Like how they're getting Pritchard into the pick and roll. Now he can become a playmaker, and he just doesn't have to dribble.
Shot clock at 2, and here is King.
Belly to belly deep.
Size advantage for Lewis. King versus Davidson. That's a nice drive.
More productive. The few attempts he has tried and have just been wild forays. You have to get at the championship level what you want, not what the other team is willing to give you.
Shot clock is down to 5. Good defense by Utah. Pritchard with the pull-up, and he gets the...
to Boulder tonight, and it's the hope UCLA took today to Seattle. That was denied. And Don, you were talking about the Washington defense. UCLA averaging 82 a game, 55 today.
Magic, Michael, Akeem, Jerry West, Walt Frazier, Rick Barry, Pete Maravich.
You blocked all their shots at one point. Here's Okoro missing.
The Kilkenny Ranch today in Hefner, Oregon, where there are soon to build the greatest self-contained, complete, renewable energy source in the entire Northwest.
Back from the dead on my desk that you keep forgetting you've given me one and you send me another one every 3 months. Here's King.
What's your address again?
Off the front.
Again, you said, Don, he has the margin tonight.
He does, but Oregon's kind of stabilized this thing. Even though it's only, they're down 15, it was on the verge of being 25-30 at one point. So
It's not like he can afford to just rest or sit McKinley right as long as he wants, because you're going to need him in the second half.
Boy. 7 blocks, had a high of 32. Dana Altman was just raving about him during practice when we talked to him. Unfortunately for the Ducks, they don't have him, but they have reinvented themselves and doing a nice job, especially on the defensive end.
He was leaning towards him too, and nobody reacted.
Rutherford never moved. Atlanta just stayed there asking for it. I thought the Ducks just went away from him. Good job by Cartwright making a nice bounce pass.
Rare defensive breakdown by Dana Altman's defense. First points for the Anteaters in 2.5 minutes. Richardson, here comes the freshman, turns, kicks out. This is King. Off balance.
Good looks each side.
Entry pass to King, playing with a sore ankle.
He has been so reminiscent of Steve Nash throughout this tournament. Absolutely spectacular.
He's got 7 points, 5 rebounds so far in the game. He's been terrific in terms of assist to turnover ratio throughout the season.
And 6 weeks ago, Dana Altman had enough of Peyton Pritchard.
Paul White counted it. That's why Oregon is in a position to possibly get back to the big dance after missing out last year.
Some people with the self-imposed pressure, they shrivel up like midgets. Others expand like a sponge. And that has been Peyton Pritchard of late. You have to learn to love pressure and want it.
Okoro with a shot clock to 3. Hits Richardson. In and out. Has not scored yet. 0 for 3 from the floor. The player of the year in the Pac-12.
It's a 2-point game. We're just getting going here. It's Las Vegas. There's no curfew here.
Here's Bailey. Off the mark that time. Okoro bats it around.
Love the fake pass, Paul. Thibault closeout on Paul White has been critical tonight in keeping that Chicago and Georgetown player off the charts.
Shot clock at 8. They're looking over the top there to Okoro. It's not there. Here's White for 3. No good.
That's
high, kept it alive.
Efficient, ineffective right now. And it's not about strategy. It's more just about skill and who can put the ball in the basket. Look at the way these Ducks break down that zone defense here.
I mean, missed the layup. From 3-point range for Arizona State. Amin gave Dana Altman.
Okay, but so the game started an hour and a half ago. So, yes, to cut it, a 20-point deficit down to, what is it now, 11.
They're still in the game. It's an 8-0 run. Moses Brown gets a block. Okoro goes. A 3-point basket by Chris Wilkes. 2.5 minutes in. The Bruins showing a little bit more fight here.
And I'm seeing passivity in pulling the ball out by the Ducks, and that's not how you win on the road.
King way off on the tonight. We'll see when we get to the arena. He ran him pretty hard today at shoot-around. They responded with a great first half. They have a 13-point lead right now.
I still think they're playing too cautious and too conservative right now. They're taking too much time off the shot clock. That's beautiful passing. Throw it down.
Oh!
Louis King has the other. Louis King on the bench with 2 fouls. Will Richardson, Ehab Amin. Peyton Pritchard runs the point. Kenny Wooten and Paul White on the floor for the Ducks. And here's Pritchard. He pulls it over Clark.
Out of bounds, you see there, but right now Oregon with a little more sense of urgency and energy.
Last touch by Jerome.
That improbable run as a 6 seed. First team to knock off the top 3 seeds to win a Pac-12 tournament ever. Able to beat Washington in the championship game to punch their ticket to the big dance. Here's Wooten, quiet so far. Out of Pritchard, still plenty of time to shoot. Pritchard finds his spot. Unable to hit again.
Robert Cartwright is doing a lot of penetration in the first half by Peyton Pritchard. And you can see now they're listening to you, Land. They're trying to get it down to King versus Hazard.
He doesn't have to do much, just turn and shoot. He's got a nice touch. He wants it again.
Pritchard, shot clock down to 8. Working in the corner, knifes his way through. Pritchard just
there in front of Pritchard. Didn't have his feet set.
Well, you can see the contrast of styles. Wisconsin took the shot clock all the way down.
And as soon as Oregon gets the ball, they push it hard.
In the 8-game winning streak for the Ducks, they have won by an average of better than 18 points per game. That includes the Pac-12 tournament. Won that tournament as a 6th seed. Only the 2nd team ever to win that conference tournament by winning 4.
Finished high school in 3.5 years.
Kenny Wooten, high arcing shot off the...
Against Kevin Porter, who's now going to the bench. They won the state championship in overtime against Rainier Beach. We're going to have to do a special on Rainier Beach High School. How about a field trip out there? How about we get on the bus? Or how about we get on the train?
That could be the next Walton's World War there in a couple weeks. Oregon at Washington.
USC and Seattle, 2 of the 5 schools in the Conference of Champions that are served by electric light rail train. Block!
Remember, you said Draymond Green was 6'4", so...
I've stood next to these guys.
In the locker room before the game would get into little slap fights with his teammates just to get warmed up for these games. He kind of looked at me and was confused about what I was talking about.
Yeah, you should have been around for when you left, and he turned around and talked to me about what you said.
I missed that part.
Pritchard, no good on the 3.
You're going to make some of those, but if there's 2 guys in there, then someone's open on the perimeter. That's just not a good